She's the girl special. I talked to you about when I talked to them on the phone, just like earlier, like after this, but she has to be there at 9. But I remember, I think the first phone call, I think it was like 10, when I checked, because she didn't work. When they told me that she wasn't there, it was just like, yeah, it's like she does not show up. So my second option was, okay, I know that we had discussion about the kids and having a privileged attendance at school, so I called the school and see if their kids were at school. And they told me the kids were at school. I knew something was wrong. I was calling her mom from my side to see what's wrong, to see what's wrong. So I was like, but then this afternoon, I felt so good about the bike and the I just hope her car's going. If her car doesn't, she's not going. And she didn't do it, I think she would. So I called Ashley in the office. Well, I just called her from the office, but Ashley was the one. And I said, she was saying, please go check. She sees my wife's car into the parking spot. So she said, okay. And I think that's what we call it.
So the last time that you spoke to her on the phone was
last time I spoke to her on the phone was what is today? It was Tuesday. It had to have been like around. I wish I could remember exactly what time it was. She asked me to FaceTime her, and then she FaceTimed me.
where was you at?
I was in the trading apartment, trading rooms and whatnot. Yeah.
Randy tells the detectives that he'd been staying with a coworker since his fight with his wife 3 days prior. Earlier that day, before the body was discovered, Brandon claims that he was going to admit himself to get help for his bipolar and manic depressive disorder. Before going in, he called Jessica to tell her what he was doing, and when she didn't answer, he began to worry.
Ollie and things so perfect. People didn't know she was screaming for help. This marriage not helping anymore.
I think that that's what it is.
You're my woman.
Hey, I'm trying to get away with it. Shut up. On the school, on the apartment, yes, if you don't keep them in one place, try to help to check it. And so the last time I saw her in person, she was great. I didn't really see her. I was just surprised. I didn't make my situation that I did before, and it made it worse. So I was just trying to get other people to go over there, like, and not be my person. I'll talk to them at work. I try to get them to go over there or something like that. But I didn't call other people to do my problems and I still do my problems. But I'm a professor at UPH, Philly. So I figured she would be that. That's why she's not there. Or else she didn't find me. Figured she was good. She was in classroom for a meeting. So I mean, that's the reason why. That's why I didn't come down here, because I've been in a situation before which made it would make it worse. Even if I didn't do anything at this particular point in time, I just didn't want to make the situation worse. She was already good.
I understand that, but when you call the school, figure out the kids were in there, which is like where it's not
But I felt like that she took off and left. That's what I was looking for. I didn't know.
Let's see. I'm trying to wrap my mind around right with it. Regardless of how she felt, you want to check on the kids. Because I know if I was in that situation, my wife was mad at me. They just got into a disagreement. She didn't see me. She can keep me from the kids. Thank you for checking on the kids. No, that's not
Her words as far as the girls, because the girls are not. I'll say she was like a little bit into it. She'll end up taking it back, but she will always say those really like are at the end of the day, they're not your kids, they're mine. So if I would do something and take them, you'll say something like you have no legal guardianship on them. You're married, you don't have one.
I understand that too. I have two stepchildren. I realize it's big. My wife can basically do whatever she wants to. But I love those kids as well. And so if something was going on in my mind where I thought something made me wrong, regardless of her feelings about whether I was the father or not, or what role I played in my life, because I love those kids, still check them.
And that's why I was calling school. Trying to see if they were at school. That's why I was calling them. The reason I did not come to Alvin is because I did not.
Thank you. This shit finna be over fast.
Girls in there. Like I didn't want her to be scared and act like that in front of the girl. So that's why I didn't come. Like I was thinking about them. That's why I didn't come.
They got into her.
I don't know. I thought the other detective was the one that took me about me. I thought he was good. I thought he was you. I couldn't recognize the voice every time listening to the voice. I had to probably never see her.
Are you get the office with you?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to see my wife.
And I'm not going to lie to you until we're going to be able to go over that.
Besides the fact that Brandon has shown little emotion after finding out his wife was dead, he hasn't asked how she died. When they told him to come in for questioning, he was only told that she was dead and nothing more. The detective is about to tell him how they found his wife's body.
Well, she was found face down in a full bathtub. That's how she was found. She didn't just fall in that bathtub. She didn't put herself down in that bathtub.
Fuck. Just because I knew what he was calling.
Her face was in the bathtub and the other half of the body was outside the bathtub. So you can imagine how that looks. So for being honest, it's not you. You didn't have anything to do with it. Who did? Your husband. You know her contacts, our friends.
I don't know what. I don't know what.
She didn't do it to herself. Those two little kids in that apartment didn't do it to her.
Thank you.
Brandon, it's zero opportunity to be honest.
I haven't been talking to people. So what's going on? I've been honest with you the whole time. The whole time. I'm honest.
Brandon, I don't think you have it.
I have this.
Because for one, 95% of the time that you've been talking to you, you haven't looked at us. You stare at the ground the whole time. You only looked when you wanted to see our reaction to things that you say. That's the only time that you looked at us. Yes.
No, that's not true. So
Yes, sir, it is. This is not my first radio, and it's not yours. Where there's things that we look for that are indicative that someone's not telling us the truth. So far, man, you've been spot on almost every one of them.
I've had a problem.
So this is your opportunity. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe something bad happened. Maybe you don't have time. We don't know. We need you to fill in those details. But if you want to play games, and if you want to say that I don't know what happened, I wasn't there, and later on we get results from the autopsy, we get your cell phone records, you get all this evidence, it says otherwise. It's not going to be good for you. And that's the thing. He's right. The truth is going to come out one day. And whether you give us your version of events now, which I'm going to be honest with you, I don't believe. But we've got a mother and two little
Gotcha.
girls here. We're not going to stop until we find out what happens. So this is not going to go away. You can sit here, you can tell us that you were at work, or you stayed with a friend, or you called all these people, you're checking on your wife, and there's no point that you attempt to check on your wife. Through all other means. But we will find out what happened. I'm trying to be a jerk to you. Just, I mean, there also comes a time when you've got to own up to what happened. Do you want to start over?
Brandon spends the next 30 minutes looking at the ground when the detective explains that he needs to be honest. At one point, Brandon says that he knew about a man that had been trying to date Jessica, but she turned him down, and maybe he could be the killer. The detectives immediately shoot down this idea and continue to accuse Brandon of being the murderer.
Players must undergo surgery in order to play. They give you cybernetic combat limbs that you use to go out and slaughter all your opponents. You think you're tough? Don't test yourself with me.
That's what you want to stick with? We recap it for you. You stayed with from last night. Last time you saw her was Monday. You called everybody but her to check on her. Never came to town to check on her, yet you were so worried about her. When the police finally told you that she had died, you just driving around in circles instead of coming to talk to us. That's what you're going with. That's what you want to go with.
Without his confession, the detectives were forced to let him go and continue their investigation. Brandon's phone record showed that his phone had been near Jessica's apartment on the night of the murder. With more evidence against Brandon, the police brought him in again, and he was interviewed by two different detectives.
Let me just tell you this. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry that you found yourself in this position. I can't go so far as to say that you're a victim of circumstances, but I wish that we weren't here. I wish you weren't here. I wish that Jessica was still alive. That's how I truly feel about all of this. But unfortunately, I got to be involved, and we got to be involved just by the nature of what's taking place. Our job is to do a couple things, and one of them is find out what happened. And if we already know what happened, then we got to find out why it happened, and how it happened. And a lot of times, if we know what happened, we know how it happened. But sometimes the hardest part is finding out why it happened. If, for example, and I'm going to give you a scenario here. If a guy breaks into a store and he steals a bunch of cigarettes, cartons and cartons of cigarettes, and then he gets arrested as he's coming out of the store. Okay, as far as anybody's concerned, we got a burglar. Guy came in, stole a bunch of cigarettes, we caught him in the act. But what we don't know is why. And everybody's going to say, why you need money about that? But that's not necessarily all the reasons that people steal big burglars. I've been doing this long enough, I know a lot about it. Sometimes people are trying to pay for things. Sometimes people don't want to get a big one. Sometimes people don't want to lose their cars. Sometimes people want to put food on the table for their families. And they get so desperate because they can't find work, or they can't get work, or they can't find any other ways of means of money, so they steal stuff. So they can steal it, pawn it, or whatever, get that money. So there's always another side to the story. There's always another reason that things do what they do, people do what they do, or the reason things happen the way they happen. I personally think that if there's a judge or a jury or there's other people making judgments, that they need to know the whole story. Okay, so you telling me everything that happened Sunday is getting us almost there as far as what happened Sunday. In those regards.
Yeah,
But it's not complete. Okay? I know enough about bipolar, I know enough about depression, that we really don't black out. We don't really fly in a rage. People use that expression a lot, and when they use that expression, it doesn't really mean what people interpret it to mean. Okay? Sometimes when people black out, they basically mean that they did something, they were aware they did it, they just didn't have any control over themselves. So they use the expression blacked out. And so when you sit here and tell me that we blacked out, I've got to take that with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? I can't, for lack of a better term, I can't accept that explanation. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to answer to me, but you know eventually you're going to have to answer to a couple people. One of them might be a judge, one of them might be a jury of 2 people, but the other one's definitely God. Do you agree? Do you believe in God? I do too. So we know sometimes in our life, above anybody and beyond anything else in this world, that's one of the people we're going to have to answer to. The first immediate thing is going to be a judge or jury. And there's enough experts out there that know a lot more about this kind of stuff than I do, that are not going to accept the expression or the explanation of blacking out. Now, if you did something you had no control over your emotions, that's understandable. But to say that you don't remember any of it, because nobody's going to buy into that.
Well, that particular part, I'm not convicted that. That's what basically has. I mean, that's what the warrant and stuff is for.
Right.
I'm not.
I know you're not denying it happened, but to say that you blacked out and you don't remember anything, that is not the truth.
Well, I don't remember exactly.
Hold on. I'm trying to explain to you that that's not the truth, and you know it's not the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God, and you know that I know that it's not the whole truth. You see what I'm saying?
The detective is referring to the act of domestic violence that took place prior to Jessica's death. Brandon claims that because of his mental health issues,